Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Energize Your Online Business podcast. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hi.
As always, I am joined by my fabulous co-host, Kate Sitars. Hello, Kate.
Hello.
Hello. And today we have the pleasure of being joined by an amazing business owner, an amazing coach to coaches, an amazing entrepreneur, and also an amazing CSS student, Nicola Hewlin. Hello, Nicola.
Hi, Nikki. Hi, Kate. Thanks for having me.
Hello. Thank you for being here. We're super excited to dig into your story. We were saying before we started recording, I have had the pleasure of working with you in the Facebook group and kind of watching your marketing come together in this vein. But I would really love to dig into well, your business life before I had the opportunity to meet you and work with you. So can you tell us about your business and how you got into it, how you felt called to start it? Anywhere you want to dig in is great.
Oh, yeah. What a great question. Well, I'll do the nutshell version. I guess, becoming a coach really started for me over a decade ago now. And it all started with a saucepan that was stuck in the kitchen cupboard. And I just remember falling to my knees and sobbing over a stuck saucepan in my kitchen cupboard. And I know that sounds really weird, but I think it was a bit symbolic of what was going on in my life at the time. And that saucepan was just the straw that broke the camel's back. And there was a lot going on in my personal life. My marriage of 17 years had ended and I'd always lived abroad. I'd come back to the UK. I remember ringing on my parents' doorbell with 2 broken suitcases, 2 broken children. And, I had a broken heart. There was so much going on. And I'd been rebuilding my life. But this saucepan was saying, you're still feeling stuck. And I remember just asking the question, what should I be doing? What should I be doing? And, I can't remember the exact next steps, but I found myself on Google exploring. I felt really drawn to just explore, and it led me to coaching. And that was over a decade ago. And that's when I discovered coaching. And it was such an incredible experience for me because I trained in transformational coaching. And when you train in something like that, you can't start a training like that and end as the same person. And it just completely changed my entire life from that saucepan moment. So that was over 10 years ago. And I went on to build my own coaching business, starting from scratch. And I was a single mum at the time, working between school runs and, challenged by that whole juggle. And I initially started off in a very different arena to what I do now. I think because I considered myself, okay, so I've just qualified as this coach and I thought I was this newbie. And it was all about pure coaching and mindset and beliefs transformation. I'd kind of forgotten about this 25 years of business and marketing experience that I had and thought, I guess I just took it for granted. Well, everybody knows that, right? Everybody does that stuff. I just was blind to it. That was my blind spot. So gradually people started asking me, can you help me? I know you're a coach. Can you help me with your business, with my business and my marketing? Do you do mentoring as well? And it just organically grew from there. So really, my journey started with Empower, which is very much focusing on empowering women in business. Mm-hmm. And for the last kind of 5 years, when other coaches saw what I was doing with Empower, they started saying, hey, how did you do that with Empower? Can you help me? So for the last 5 years, I've been helping coaches to build their business, which is really exciting for me because I'm on this big mission, audacious mission of empowering 1 million people. And I get excited because when I help one coach achieve their, to make their coaching vision a reality, it's that exponential ripple effect. And they go on to empower hundreds, if not thousands of others. So it's really, I still have Empower and grow your coaching business. And really all of that comes pre-CSS, right?
Mhm.
And that my biggest passion and really the core of what I was doing, and it still is today, is the one-to-one coaching, because that is where the magic happens for me, and the sort of support that my client wants. I had 95% of the work I was doing and my coaching income came from one-to-one coaching for over 10 years.
Wow.
So that's the pre-CSS landscape, if you like.
That's so exciting. And I actually, if you don't mind digging into it, I don't think I'm familiar with the term. I know I'm not familiar with the term transformational coaching. Can you dig just a little bit more into that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's lots of different, I guess, types of coaches out there. You might think of executive coaching, and life coaching has different types, I guess. And the school I trained with, Animas, specializes in what's called transformational coaching. And so, yeah, as the name suggests, it's about helping people really transform their lives, go from A to B, and a lot of that, a lot of helping your clients achieve what they want to achieve is not just that kind of superficial performance coaching, achieving goals. It's about creating real change in their lives, or real change in terms of the goals and what it is that they want to achieve in their life. And it goes quite deep. And I think that's the difference with transformational coaching. So it draws on a range of modalities, including CBT. So there's cognitive behavioral coaching, NLP, transactional analysis. So it's everything you would expect from classical coaching, but the ability to go deeper so that there is that kind of personal transformation from the inside out.
Oh, that's interesting. That strikes me as just really, really appealing. And I think that's from the outside, not being a coach myself, or not a coach in that way. It's interesting to have you parse out the difference, because I think that non-life coaches make assumptions about what they're going to get in a session or in a program. So it's very interesting to hear you talk about the differences between, because certainly goals are important, but at the same time, if you're hitting those goals, but you're still the same person, or you're still up against the same limiting beliefs, still operating with the same limiting beliefs, and you can hit all the goals, but still wonder why you're not happy.
Absolutely. And that's why it's such a powerful combination in business, because, you both will know this personally. There's no greater kind of personal growth tool than starting and building your own business, right? It takes us way outside of our comfort zone all the time. Lots of new things we've never done before, especially when we're an entrepreneur who is starting. I've been an entrepreneur for over 21 years now, but especially when you first leave the corporate world, it's a whole different world, right? So it's yes, I'm a business coach and mentor, and yes, a lot of that is about proven strategies and tools and techniques, but we can have clarity, we can have crafted a brilliant strategy, we can have the best laid plans, but if we haven't got the inner resources right, it's still going to be a grind. We're not going to be find that magical place of flow that is really where I love to help my clients get. And for me, flow is, the Pareto principle, where 80% of your results comes from 20% of your efforts. That kind of magical miracle space, and that can only happen if we're not held back internally by limiting beliefs and lack of confidence and that mindset piece that's tripping us up.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Kate's heard me say this a million times, but when I was first, right?
I love it.
When I was first getting into business, I would hear mindset and I go, okay, great. Keep your mindset. Give me the strategies so I can actually build a business. And then when I have some free time or free cash, I'll look into this mindset. And of course, what I learned is that mindset has to come first. You get the mindset right, and then you're able to do all of those other things. So I love to hear that.
Absolutely. I love that.
Exactly. So it makes a lot of sense to me that taking it from your consumer clients and bringing it to your business clients as well makes a lot of sense, because I agree. It is amazing how amazingly rewarding owning a business is, and surprisingly challenging in places you wouldn't have expected it to be. So I'm sure your clients love it.
So true. And coming back to what you were saying about, the mindset, and it's bit chicken and egg, isn't it? Mindset and strategy. And mindset does come first, because mindset helps us to develop the clarity and the strategic thinking in the right way. But ultimately, I always think of that yin yang symbol, and it's both, it's and thinking. It's not then just the mindset that, we can't just be passive in it and meditate and have a great mindset, but not be taking inspired, aligned action. So we need both ultimately, but mindset is the place. Mindset and energy, but I won't, that energy that we bring. Do we love what we're doing? I know loads of people, especially coaches, and that's why they even use the word hate. I hate marketing. I hate sales. It's not what I signed up for as a coach. I just want to coach clients. How do I get my paying clients without having to do all that marketing stuff? And there's a fear of visibility, and I'm not secretly, I'd love for all my clients to fall in love with marketing, but the next, enjoy to bring joy to. And if we can shift into that energy of enjoying those parts, that starts to create some of the magic too.
Oh, I love that. I want to hear more about how you encourage them to move into that joy.
Yeah. And how are you getting clients too into your coaching program before deciding to?
It's a great place to start. How you've been bringing clients in, how you've been making sales on your programs before CSS.
So, as I mentioned before, really the core of my business model before CSS, and still is to a degree, that was the one-to-one coaching. So more premium packages. I typically work with my clients for 6 months at a time, because for me, it's not about bunging a load of know-how over the fence and there you go, my job's done. It's really accompanying them on that journey of really implementing everything and making their vision a reality. So, marketing really has run through my life and my professional journey like a stick of rock, from university, where I specialized in it at, degree level. My career started in marketing and communications, and I love it. And it's run, being an entrepreneur for the last 20 years, it's run through my journey like a whole stick of rock. Do you have rock in your country? They're like pink sweets. Oh, it's a really British thing. When you go to a seaside town on holiday, they're pink sweets, and they're like a baton, and it's white in the middle. And the name of the town, you can see it as you eat the sweet. It runs all the way through this long baton. Anyway,
that's so
really
cool.
That's a really British thing, but
no, thank you for explaining.
So for the international audience that you have. So really, the marketing strategies that I focused on for me in my business have been very similar to those that I help my clients with, who also want to work one-to-one. It's not about high volume, low ticket. It's about those, kind of larger coaching packages, I guess. And so it's more high touch, personalized marketing strategies. And I talk about marketing in terms of marketing bridges. So I always say to my clients, picture all your potential clients are out there on their problem islands, and you are on solution mainland. And it's not about, swimming across all these oceans and trying to check out everybody on the different islands and dragging them across, or trying to shout the loudest from your mainland. It's marketing is about building bridges that then can attract and bring your potential clients on a journey through that know, like, trust over to you on mainland. And for the kind of high touch marketing, we think about it in terms of there being 10 different types of bridges. And of course, there still is one of those is still the digital evergreen funnel bridge, but then there are lots of others, and networking and author and speaking. And so it's about choosing a bridge that plays to a client's natural strengths and gets them excited in a way that they can enjoy it and bring that energy to their marketing activity. So out of those 10 bridges, I've pretty much done them all over the years, including the author bridge. So I think I published my first book probably about 7 years ago now, and I didn't think I'd write another book. I just wanted to have a go at all these different things, and I was really fortunate. I'm proud to say it took me a year to write, and I'm proud to say my first book, The Invisible Revolution, which was a book specifically written for mums in business, so women who are taking on that challenge of building a business, often for the first time, whilst raising a family, and a unique set of challenges and constraints. So for any listeners out there, also parents and those primary caregivers, they'll get it, right? And that book, I'm proud to say, was listed in the Independent's 10 Best Business Books Written by Women, which I was really excited about.
Congratulations.
Yeah, good for you.
That's
incredible.
fantastic. Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, what a win.
But I still didn't think I'd write another book, but there's been this other book that just won't leave me alone. Books are like, they keep knocking at your door going, hello, are you going to write me yet? Are you going to write me yet? And so that is where CSS, I didn't know it was CSS. I hadn't discovered CSS at that point, but I knew that. So let me rewind. For my whole 10 years of working one-to-one with clients, it's been really important to me, and it always is to my clients as well, is that we want to be maximizing our impact. We want to be growing our income, but we don't want to end up in that having to work more and more hours and longer. So I had this mission for me first, which was, how do I grow my business, increase my coaching income, whilst, almost bringing my time invested down. So, I got to this really amazing position fairly early on. My first goal was to replace my corporate salary from the peak of my business consultancy career, which I had that head start in marketing. So, I'm really blessed to say I smashed that. And then it was about, how do I continue to grow that income? And I want to be working a 4-day week. But between my partner and I, Graham, we have 4 children in our fusion family, and we had children still at home, and I wanted to be able to make the most of this beautiful fusion family that we were creating. So I, many years ago, said, I want to work a 16-hour week. So 4 days a week, 4 hours a day, 10 till 2. That's it, because of family. Now, 10 years on, our kids have all left home. They've all spread their wings, but I have a horse, and he's not young. It's like my childhood dream come true. He's 15. We've started doing dressage competitions, which is something I'd always wanted to do. So I don't want to work more hours. So perhaps there's listeners who can relate to, I think it's a fairly universal challenge. It's like, we feel called to serve. We really want to help our clients. How do we do that? And how do we do it as a win-win-win, the best way for me and my business and my clients, so that everybody benefits. And so there is this finding the formula that is right for each person. What does that look like in terms of how much time, how much of my life do I want to dedicate to working in and on my business? So I had got to this point. So last year is when I did CSS, where for many years I'd been working a 16-hour week and making an amazing living at the same time. So I didn't want to change that or let go of it. But this second book kept knocking. And I know how much of my time that would take to write a book. And it could potentially take a year or longer. That was my first experience. And I don't want to rush it. So my question that I was asking myself is, okay, how do I want to shift? What do I want to do differently so that I can write this second book, take my time over it, give it the time that it truly deserves? Because I feel this is the book I was born to write. It's called Miracle Marketing for Coaches. Mm-hmm. And it's going to take on a life of its own, I know, but that means creating some space within that 16-hour week, because I spend 3 to 4 hours out in the countryside with my horse and training and riding every day. And so how do I do that, but without losing income? Because I have to pay for the horse and it's hay, right? And the horses are expensive. And so in miracle marketing fashion, I put the question out there and I was journaling on it, and I was starting to get clear on how I wanted to shift my business model. And then I was on Instagram one day and an ad popped up, and I thought, oh, thank you, universe, that I'm going to follow that signpost. And it was CSS. And I went to your free online training. And of course, it's wonderful because being in the light bulb video, that might not mean that much for people, but to be in that CSS experience, you're experiencing it as our clients would. And so I was going through, and within half an hour in, I was like, yep, I'm sold. I was just waiting to get to the end. I was pre-sold, and like within 3 seconds, I was like, yeah, okay, sign up. And that happened very quickly, because for me, it was a no-brainer that the shift in my business model needed to be, there were some ways in which I've developed online programs over the 10 years. But interestingly, I've always developed them to help my VIP one-to-one clients. So there's all this know-how and teaching that's essential, that I don't want that learning stuff to take up our one-to-one sessions where we're doing the strategizing, the deeper work, the interactive stuff. We can only do one-to-one. So I had these online programs, and there was an idea for a new program that would create this bundle, because often what happens with coaches, I've got the Marketing Made Easy foundations that have been there for a while. And even once coaches have attracted clients, it's that initial consultation piece, those enrollment conversations that coaches struggle with, to convert that interest in a non-salesy, non-pushy, authentic way. So authenticity is really important to me, and core in my ethos of marketing. It's not about selling. It's not about promoting. It's ditch the word selling. It's about problem solving or being of service. And when we get our marketing right, selling is just a sale is a natural outcome of that. Mm-hmm. So I created this last kind of program, this course that I knew would be really important for coaches, and thought this can stand alone by itself as well. And this is the bit that really I felt very passionate about helping as many coaches as possible around the world get unstuck with that. How do I attract clients? Marketing made easy, but then how do I enroll them? And those two combined. And I thought, that's going to be making an impact and really contributing towards my bigger mission. And it's going to help me with my kind of next step of having some passive income to give me enough to just free up for a year or so that I can work on my book without my income dropping, because I'm going to have fewer hours to be taking on one-to-one clients. So that's what I did. And that was my aim when I came into CSS.
Amazing. And then, so how has it been working out for you?
How's it been working out? So yeah, I mean, it's really interesting, right? Because there's another part to the story. I was going into CSS with, an open mind. I'd had an experience 6-7 years prior where I was really busy with my one-to-one, and my first course, Marketing Made Easy, I thought it would be great to for this to sell, but I didn't have time to do it myself. So I hired an expert team, a done for you, and they built this whole funnel, and it was a significant investment, and we launched, and I made one sale, and that was Graham. So it was not great, right? Not great. And I was like, oh, Nick, you're a marketing strategist. Lesson learned. You should have known better, as in the world of coaching, where it is high touch, like it or not, we have to be in it. Yes, there's parts we can outsource, but our essence, our face, our voice has to be in it, right? And I wasn't enough in it. I outsourced too much, and lesson learned, good reminder. And it was nice because it really affirmed everything that I know, especially in high touch marketing, right? Mm-hmm. So I was like, I need to stay true to that essence in how I do it this time round. And so with CSS, I felt this could be that perfect balance between having that proven strategy and framework, but me investing myself to do the work within that. So it's me pouring myself into the kind of framework container, if you like. And that was the experience I had. Oh, where was I? Oh, yeah. So what was my results? So it took about 5 months for me to go from signing up to CSS to launching. Mm-hmm. I did a soft launch because I'm very big into organic marketing and that kind of high touch organic. And so I wanted to see, how does this work with just pure organic, no paid advertising behind it? Because if further down the line, and if and when my clients who want to be doing something similar, initially as a first step, they too might want to be working in a more organic way with an existing audience. So let's see how that works first. So that's where I started doing this kind of soft launch. And then that was in October, so maybe 6 months ago, and then just letting it run organically and seeing what results that equates to. So at launch, it was amazing because I started off with, and immediately hit the ground running with about a 30% sign up rate on the the training sign up
Mm-hmm.
page.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, a 14% conversion to sales.
Wow. That's incredible.
Which I'm used to high touch marketing. So for me, I'm used to things like 80 to 90%. That's like more, but it's a different world, right? When you move to digital and you're dealing with sometimes colder audience or lukewarm, or so I had to really kind of adjust my high touch one-to-one marketing brain. And I remember being in the Facebook support group and you mentioning, Nikki, that, a good rates are between like, is it 1 and 3?
Like 2% is standard. Yeah.
2% is standard. So I'm like, because I was feeling a bit like, 14%. I need to up my game. Like
anyone listening to this right now is like, oh my God, I would kill for that.
Exactly.
So I was like, when I saw that, I was like, okay. So this is feeling good. And I kept those rates, and I'm busy writing my book. So what CSS has done for me has achieved that goal of giving me, that extra chunk of regular monthly income so that I can focus worry-free on writing. I take care of my one-to-one clients. I've been able to keep my coaching schedule a little bit tighter to create some space for the Miracle Marketing book. So it's been perfect. It's great.
That's fantastic. Congratulations.
That's
amazing. Yeah. 2%, 1 to 2% is kind of standard. And, our personal goals for CSS. So we try to get people closer to that, like 4 to 5%, because that will be a huge difference in someone's income. But 14%, atta girl. Good work.
Thank you. It means a lot because, it does take time, doesn't it? Good things can take time to build. And yes, it is an investment of time. It did take me five months, and it's simple as in, you do such a great job of breaking it down and guiding individuals through the framework, the strategy, the process in a really bite-sized, step-by-step. So it's very simple and easy in that way. Within those steps, we have to do the work, but that's the magic of us doing the work. And I got some support, so it's lovely. It's the copywriting piece. I'm not a professional copywriter. I'm a marketing strategist, and I can get into the nitty-gritty of the implementation of those strategies, but I'm not a copywriter, and it's quite an art form. This said, I've written my own copy I've got 3 different brands that I work under: Empower, Grow Your Own Coaching Business. And I do some work in the corporate space, and I do write all my own copy. But I think for a digital funnel where it's not like high touch marketing where you're having conversations with people, you're interacting with them more, that copy becomes paramount, and the devil's in the detail, so to speak. And when we're working on copy that closely, and where copy is that important, we can get too close to it ourselves. And that's why every coach and mentor should have their own coach and mentor. And that's what I really loved about the CSS program, where you and your team and you guys are copywriting veterans. And it just meant that a bit like, the film Ghost, where they have that pottery wheel.
Yes.
So we can kind of get that raw material onto the wheel and start to kind of spin it and shape it. And it might be a little bit higgledy-piggledy in places. And it's great to have a professional copywriter who can just come in with these fresh eyes and immediately see it and go, that bit's sticking up. We're like, I hadn't seen that because that was on the other side. And you just get that kind of 360 review of this.
Yeah.
thing that you're molding and shaping. It's such a creative process, and to have others involved in creative processes
huge
when they relate to you, it is just invaluable. And I worked with one of your copywriters. I don't know if I can mention their name.
Absolutely.
Is that unfair?
Absolutely.
Stuart.
No,
Tom was brilliant. Stuart. I worked with Stuart because there's some part, not spoiler alert for people kind of listening into this who are thinking about CSS, but you're given a really simple but powerful strategy of how to approach the copy to the spark points I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I like with anything in business, there's 101, you kind of look at them and you go, oh gosh, there's 101 different ways I could approach this. What's the best? So you can shortlist them and you can kind of whittle it down to the three spark points that you think are the best. But again, you can get just too close to it and your business and your audience perhaps too well. Yeah. And so working with a copywriter, not necessarily to write the words for you, although Stuart was amazing, like a real wordsmith and could just tidy things up and tweak things. But that strategic thing to go, oh, you're going to use these 3 points, but what about this one? And help you overcome your blind spots. So it was really, really invaluable.
Yeah. Yeah. Not surprised to hear that, Stuart. And so all of our copywriters are fantastic. But yeah, I mean, it's like you said, it's the copywriting is such an integral or should be an integral part to any marketing program. So it was really important to us that we have copywriters in the group as resources, just as part of the program. But then also, like you said, to give people the option, if they want to, if they felt called to work with the copywriters separately as well. And however that works out, if it's a copy review for an hour, or if it's you hire them to write everything. But I really would love to underline what you said about your marketing is too important to completely outsource. The problem you had with that previous the previous agency. I think that there's so much, and I as a business owner, I'm constantly looking for, okay, well, what can I take off my plate and what can I put on somebody else's plate, but I agree that when it comes to your marketing, it has to be, in order for you to your point, in order for it to be that beautiful connection and a sale be a natural result, because it's such a good fit between what this person wants and needs and what you have to offer, that you can't. It's such an important connection, and your heart and your effort and what you have created in your business is so inextricably tied into that you need to be a part of building that out, and you need to be a part of ideating, and certainly, like we said, you can work with a copywriter, but it's still fundamentally your heart and your soul and your business. And I think that's such a fantastic realization that you had. And I think one that's going to help people as they listen to this as well and think things through.
Yeah. And I think that's a great skill of brilliant copywriters, is that they have this magical ability, that the great ones have a magical ability to really get under the skin, into the heads, and hearts and soul of the person that they're writing for. And that takes time as well. So for anybody, I got the help of a copywriter, Stuart, and he's got a great process to make sure that we spend that time. Because unfortunately, even when we want to outsource the copywriting to a great copywriter, we still can't throw an email over the wall and go, oh, can you write this for me? It takes time for them to get to know who they're writing for. What is your face and your voice, your style. I call it brand DNA. You know, what's the essence, that DNA that we want to infuse into the writing, and how would you say it? And again, it's a creative process, and there'll be iterations, and the writing unfolds. So it still takes a bit of time, but that's the great thing about building this kind of marketing bridge, is you do it. It's an initial upfront investment. You do it once and then it's done. And that's a foundation that is there for, yes, you can refine and tweak and enhance. And you talk about enhancements a lot in the program. But it's such a brilliant investment of time to set that up and have that evergreen marketing bridge that saves us time further down the line. So even once I've written, that's the exciting bit for me now, I guess, is even once I've written this second book, I can see that the CSS I've got now, it's doing its job, but there is like a 2.0 that will come to life at the same time as the book. And so there'll be a second version, but it's going to be so much easier second time around, because it's almost like a copy paste tweak, because it's already in my world created, if that makes sense.
It does.
100%.
That's so exciting. It's so interesting to hear how it has all shaked out for you, how it all shook out for you, and how you planning on using it in the future. Do you have any sense of what some of your next steps are going to be with your book, certainly, and then beyond that, as you're looking at your business and growing your business over the next couple of years?
So yeah, it's a really exciting question to think about. It's a really big question as well, isn't it? Like, what does the future look like? And but the future is big. It's very exciting, and it very much the timing of next steps will depend on when I finish writing book 2, and with the miracle marketing book, and I guess, we were talking about the yin yang symbol earlier. Miracle marketing is really about what do I define as a miracle? It's like, it's not something impossible happens. It's something that defies our imagination better than we could have ever imagined. And that's the kind of marketing I want to help coaches. Like, oh my, I never in my wildest dreams did I imagine, my coaching schedule could be full like this, working with these perfect for me clients, and this lifestyle that goes alongside the coaching impact and income that I've got. And so that book is one element of the next steps, but I'm also creating what are the miracle marketing tools and resources that go with that. And I think you touched on the question earlier, how do you get people into that enjoyment state, that miracle energy? How do you get them in there? And there's some very simple but powerful tools that just completely transform and shift our energy, our mindset around marketing, and therefore completely transform the results. And so next steps are write the book. I've been using these resources for years, but it's just my kind of behind the scenes use, and more like sharing them with my one-to-one clients. So I need to kind of get them ready to be shared more widely. And then it's all about CSS 2.0 to bring that to the world in a wider way. And what does that mean for me in my business? Well, it means, I feel incredibly blessed to have the coaching business that I've had over the last 10 years. I make an amazing living working 16 hours a week. More than I did in my corporate career. And I had a really great job in business consultancy. So it's been great. And yet I can see that, with the what's coming next, this is just going to take everything to the next level and amplify everything alongside continuing to do my one-to-one work, which will always be my core passion. So it's just really exciting.
Oh, it is. It's very exciting. I'm excited for you. I'm excited on everybody else's behalf. Please do check back in and let us know when the book is available so we can share it out to our community as well, certainly. But it's been such a pleasure to be part of your journey and to be part of you digging in and building this process so that to take your business to that next evolution. It's been such a pleasure. So thank you for that.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. And good luck to all you future CSSers and who are out there. One thing I'd love to add is for anybody who is kind of thinking, is CSS for me? Is it going to help me? Exploring other options. You know, as you've heard, I've done the done for you option, and I've also made sales in that kind of organic way. But the beauty of CSS is that it brings in a time sensitivity, deadlines for your future clients, but in a way that is really authentic. And personally for me, I mentioned this, authenticity is so key, not these kind of fake deadlines and fake scarcity that can kind of undermine your brand and your credibility. And so, you know, it's something that that if it's not authentic, it wouldn't align with my ethos. And that's what I love about CSS is it creates that excitement and gives a real kind of incentive in a very authentic way. And that for me differentiates CSS big time from a lot of the other kind of approaches and strategies and systems, if you like, that I've come across in the past.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. And now if someone is listening and maybe they're listening and thinking, I need to hire her as my coach, or maybe they're listening and thinking, oh, I need to follow her so I can read her books. And where can people find you?
Oh, thank you. So my main brand is empower.global. And growyourcoachingbusiness.co.uk is where coaches gravitate into my world, because they're the ones that are asking that, how do I turn this big calling into a great living? And that's growyourcoachingbusiness.co.uk. And that's where the Miracle Marketing book for coaches will be emerging. I've got a secret kind of landing page at the moment whilst I'm writing the book for people I talk to, and they hear about the book, and so they can sign up on this kind of early bird notification list. So when it's ready, however many months, I'm hoping to, I'm going to say it, public accountability. I'm hoping to get the bulk of it done this summer.
Oh, good for you.
2024 as we record this. So, but you know, I can perhaps give you the link if there's a way of sharing that. So people who are perhaps intrigued by the book, they can get on the wait list and be an early birder.
That would be wonderful. Kate and I are going to get on the list right away. Yes, we will include all of the links in the show notes. So everything that Nick has talked about will be in the show notes, and we'll include her super special insider link for the book updates as well.
Thank you. And there'll be some special gifts for the early birders. So it's worth checking out.
Love gifts. Excellent. Well, Nick, this has been so fantastic. And thank you so much for sitting down with us, taking time out of your day to share your story. You clearly have so much wisdom, and it's, like I said, it has been just such an absolute pleasure and honor to have worked with you in this program. So thank you.
Thank you so much to both of you for everything you do Keep doing what you do. And for those who have tuned into this recording, thanks for listening. Perhaps we'll end up chatting one day. And good luck with, your future CSS journeys to all those who are, about to jump in. It's a great thing to do. Go for it.
Love it.
And with that, we will catch you all in the next episode. Bye, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Do you want to learn how to sell and scale your offer on autopilot every single day without the chaos of live launching or the low conversions of Evergreen? Who doesn't, right? Get our free on-demand video training at circuitsalessystem.com/free. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel to make sure you never miss a video. We'll catch you next time.